You're so dirty.
Chubby chasers everywhere. You know. I feel kind of like dirty today.
You're so dirty. This is a Disney Plus series, sir.
Yeah.
We're going to have you take it down a notch.
Movie fucking sucks. It's terrible.
Is everybody
I'm just
good on
gonna
their
be-
beverages?
I'm good.
I'm just going to be Lewis Black from now on.
Oh, don't. Please don't.
You're already Lewis Black.
I'm going to have to edit so much more. So much more. There's going to be more blooper reels, though. That's the thing we've lost. Because we've all gotten on this like a good level.
No more.
And we don't have any blooper reels.
Done.
There's going to be Vader blooper reels coming for the Patrons now. Oh, boy.
I'm going to have lots of F words and other F words.
I'm going to get a phone call one of these days.
From who? Oh, from somebody that
From people.
you're related to?
Yeah.
Now, Salty, I'm your mother. You really need to quit hanging out with these heathens.
Exactly.
The deacon of his church.
They're a bad influence on you.
These are familiar words.
You're becoming of age where you're going to be an elder in the church now.
No. That's probably never going to happen.
And you have to set a better example.
That will be said. Along with
your boys.
There you go. Go ahead. Keep going. I have a feeling like you've heard all this before.
You're raising young boys.
There you go.
And you have to set an example as their father.
There you go.
And you out carousing with these
drinking before
noon with these movie people that you hang out with. Yeah. Yeah, I've been through all that.
Got any left in there?
Yeah, I do.
Bourbon. Is Jim Beam bourbon? Yeah, it's bourbon, right?
I don't know, but it tastes really good. All right, guys.
That's right on it. It's bourbon.
Yeah.
Let's get into this. The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of salt. So get ready, nerds. We're talking WandaVision, episode 3. All right. Welcome and thank you for listening to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. I'm your host, the Salty Nerd. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing WandaVision, episode 3. And I am joined, as always, by my illustrious co-hosts, the drunk space Viking.
How dare you?
Matt Vader.
Hi.
What's up, man?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm feeling it.
I'm also joined by the ambassador of estrogen, who's drinking the tears of her enemies. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Why do you do that every time I introduce you?
I don't know. I enjoy drinking beverages, and I just thought that the camera would be on you for longer.
I'm drinking Arrowhead water.
All right, guys. I'm also joined by Matthew Kiddish, author extraordinaire. What's up, man?
Not much.
Cool.
He's
All
totally disgusted with all of us right now.
He's going to be so annoyed when he's edited.
So annoyed with us.
You guys just make my life miserable. I don't know why I put up with you.
At least you have. I can edit some things now. I'm trying to build my.
When
chunk.
you feel like it. Then the night before it's due, you're like, Kiddish, can you take care of this?
This kitchen, this bathroom's really got a hold of me right now. I can't,
Dude, I misjudged a couple of things, and it totally threw off my weekend. All right, that's it. Enough of that nonsense. WandaVision, episode 3. Matthew Kiddish, are you doing the synopsis for this?
I am.
All right, go for it. What happens in this episode?
All right, so episode 3, entitled Now in Color. Remember the first 2 episodes didn't have a title when we did our first thing, and
Now they do.
yes, now they do.
Wait, it had a title?
They do now.
Yeah, so like the first episode was called Film Before Live Studio Audience. Second episode was Don't Touch That Dial, and this one is called Live in Color, or Now in Color, I should say.
I thought they were just like chapter 1, chapter 2.
That it was when they first came out. It was just 1 and 2.
Well,
And now
that
they
was
have
the
titles.
first take, and then Wanda decided she didn't like that. So,
Oh, do you think Disney's playing like 3D chess?
No, I think they just screwed up. didn't put the titles out with the episodes.
I think my take is
I like your take.
more entertaining.
It's fun. All right, Kadish, what happens in this episode?
All right, so before we get into the episode, let's talk about the commercial for this one.
Mhm.
It's basically for a product called Hydra Soak, which is a special bar of soap. And it's played by depicting a woman being overlooked at home and wanting to escape into a world all of her own. And she gets in this luxurious bathtub
Hydra, take me away.
with this guy fanning her with like a palm. And, she's just enjoying a bath from good old evil Hydra Soak.
Nazi soap.
Nazi soap.
It's good. I can't say it. Anyway,
when you want to feel like a Nazi.
No.
When you want to what?
when you want to feel like a Nazi.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hydra soap.
Shit, dude.
I don't know. I didn't really catch any hidden meaning behind. I'm sure there is, but besides just the obvious Hydra influence, was there any
That's all I
deeper?
got.
Yeah, I didn't really get anything deeper out of this commercial.
You want to immerse
I
yourself
actually-
in
I
the
think
Nazi
I-
culture.
My impression was that she's like in her own little world, which is the soak, she's having a spa experience right now, courtesy of Hydra.
Is this?
And this little world we're in is her.
So you think it's like
to
a
escape into or something?
Wanda was the woman taking the bath?
Well, it could be her mother was the one taking a bath, and she immersed herself in Hydra, and she had those 2 kids running around.
Mm.
And then once she immersed herself in the Hydra soak, then the rest is history. As far as like, here, take my kids,
I feel
get
like
rid of
that's-
them. I'm gonna soak in this bath.
I feel like that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. To tell you the truth, before we get we dive into no, I didn't really like this episode that much.
No?
I was kind of over it. Like maybe it's just because I don't like shows from the
For
70s.
children.
Yeah,
I have a couple things to say, but I'm gonna wait till we get there.
Okay.
With Kiddish doing
Yeah.
this thing.
Kiddish, lead the way.
Take it away, sir.
All right. So it is the 1970s, and Wanda is shown to be very pregnant. Dr. Nielsen informs them that she is well along, though she and Vision neglect to tell him that the pregnancy is progressing fast. The doctor compares the babies to fruit, and he says, we let the little ladies keep tabs on their growing babies with fruit. Makes it simple for
As
them.
a woman, I appreciate that because just like information. Oh my God.
You know what? My wife's pregnant right now, and we still do that. We're like, oh,
So-
it's the size of an avocado right now.
Oh, yeah, you got a little,
We got a little
tangerine
watermelon.
in
Yeah,
there.
a little tangerine. Yeah, we do that. We still do that. There's nothing wrong with
so
that.
like at 4 months, it's a pear. At 5 months, it's a papaya. At 6 months, it's a grapefruit. At 7 months, it's a pineapple. And at 8 months, honeydew.
Clever. Oh, is that what that meant? Went right over my head.
I like how Vision is like, I can't wait to be a proud papaya.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know, man. This was a miss for me. I really didn't enjoy this episode. I was kind of like, I didn't think anything was really that funny. There was only one moment where we kind of got a hint.
I like the end.
The ending was better. Yeah, the ending was better than the other 2 episodes, but the other 2 episodes were more.
I like the
entertaining
end
than this
when it went from old standard definition screen to
one.
wide
Widescreen.
definition.
We're back.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Vision walks the doctor out and asks him to keep Wanda's pregnancy quiet because he knows that she's actually only 12 hours into her pregnancy, despite looking like she's 4 months along. Dr. Nielsen says that he won't say anything and that he's off to Bermuda for a vacation.
Yeah, good luck leaving.
good luck leaving the Truman Show.
Yeah. After the doctor leaves, Vision sees his neighbor Herb acting strange as Herb tries trimming the hedges of his property. He cuts into the brick wall, separating the houses with his hedge trimmers like it's no big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was in like a trance almost.
I was wanting to know what the deal was with him grinding through his
It was like
cement fence was.
It was like autopilot.
I just
mean-
assumed it was a metaphor for like trying to break out of whatever they're in.
Oh,
I
that's. deep.
assumed it was a metaphor, but I didn't know what the metaphor was.
I think Jude might be onto
Yeah.
something there.
Like trying to cut their way out
Yeah.
of this universe.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was one of those things where like, you know, the trope is you run into the neighbor trimming the hedges and he'd already trimmed that hedge like out. So like he's just stuck in that spot. He has to hedge something.
he's in a
trim
constant-
I don't
something.
think there was
it's
a
in a
lot
constant
of
loop.
There wasn't a lot of hedge trimming going on in the 70s.
Yeah, but below the belt, is that what you're talking about?
Look at this.
He's so proud of himself.
proud of himself.
We need to put in the badum sound effect.
God, that was right up there with the papaya joke from Vision.
Thank you very much, everybody.
I can't wait to be a
Vader, Vader has the same writers as
Yeah,
WandaVision.
God.
I'm just gonna leave now. I'll never top that.
My name's Vader.
Oh man. No, yeah, I don't know, man. This the jokes in this one, that was funnier than the episode.
It was, wasn't
It
it?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
we tend to do their jokes better than they
Yeah.
do.
Vader
That's-
keeps coming out with those slingers for
Yeah,
WandaVision.
right?
I'll masticate right now on camera.
The
I'll trim your hedges. I can't wait till next week.
He did.
we'll get more freaking.
I love it when we make that laugh. It's so good.
That's more than a handful of bush.
Now salty.
I like it when I make Salty laugh so hard he cries.
Your friends
It's
are getting
not
out
hard
of,
to do.
Your friends are getting out of control against Salty.
Yeah, they are. I'm losing it. Anyway, no, the jokes were not that great in this one. The whole breathing thing with the they did that for like a good 15 minutes. I was like, oh my God, are we done with this yet?
Did they recreate the Brady Bunch house?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, is that what that is?
They
The
did.
house is totally the Brady Bunch, except it's reversed.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought that was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I never watched Brady Bunch, so a lot of this stuff's going to go over my head.
Well, sir, you
Sorry.
need to get educated.
I do.
Okay.
I don't
For
have
sure.
time to watch 70s sitcoms, though. So I'm going to miss a lot of these references, which I kind of feel bad about. Like, it sucks. Maybe I'm missing. Maybe that's why I didn't like it.
Maybe.
Because I don't have a connection to those 70s sitcoms.
Early 70s sitcoms were kind of weird.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just not connecting with this episode because of that.
Yeah.
But to me, it kind of fell flat. The only thing I'm really interested in is what we'll get into a little bit later when the fourth wall kind of breaks and we get a bigger picture. So that's kind of what intrigued me about this episode. But the rest of it, anyway, continue, Kiddish. What happens next?
All right. So when Vision comes back inside, Wanda is now even more pregnant than she was before, having gone from 4 months to 5 months in the time it took Vision to see the doctor off. Vision and Wanda prepare for the baby's arrival by putting the nursery together. Wanda uses her magic to assemble the crib and paint the room while Vision reads about pregnancy. And then the baby kicks for the first time, causing Wanda to inadvertently use her powers to bring to life the crib mobile collage of butterflies. And the kick now puts Wanda at 6 months of pregnancy. So she's getting pregnant very, very quickly.
I wish it was this fast.
Yeah, you're going through this right now in real time.
Yeah,
aren't
I
you?
am right now in real
How
time.
far along is your wife now?
6 months.
Okay.
Jude,
Yes.
for the children.
It's for the children.
Wait, let me do it in the camera. For the children.
Okay. Anyway,
All right, so
I do. Sorry.
go ahead.
Okay. I do love all the tropes that they use in this episode with like, it's just a typical sitcom trope to hide a pregnancy. Like she's got the bowl of fruit and she's got the raincoat and she's like behind the counter. And those are like all just so typical of like sitcoms that want to hide a pregnancy. And I just thought it was cute.
they do that with
That's funny.
who was it? Jennifer Aniston or Courtney Cox from Friends?
Well, they've done it with everyone.
Yeah,
They
Phoebe
did
was-
it with Julia
Mrs.
Louis-Dreyfus.
Miss Huxtable.
Oh
Yeah. Name a sitcom.
Yeah.
And the main character, if she got pregnant during the lifetime of that sitcom, they've used one of these tropes.
They just started wearing baggier clothes.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh, I happen to be carrying a suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So Vision and Wanda begin to debate each other over baby names. Vision likes the name Billy, named after William Shakespeare, but Wanda has her heart set on Tommy, which is an all-American name. Vision deduces that at the current rate of development, the baby will be born in 3 days' time at Friday afternoon. Wanda begins having early contractions, though she and Vision mistake them for Braxton Hicks contractions, also known as false labor. And the contractions cause Wanda's powers to start screwing with the town power grid, causing the home's appliances to malfunction, and this results in the power in their neighborhood suddenly going out completely.
It's not just the power either. It's everything. Because even the doctor's car, who he was trying to leave town to go on vacation, his car stopped working too. So
I actually think that might have been like,
Wanda?
yeah, that might have been like an intentional thing since they were trying to leave the
Because
town.
he was never going to get to Bermuda.
No, of course not. No.
Yeah.
But
Bermuda doesn't exist in this fake little fantasy world.
it's absolutely right. It's just the cul-de-sac. That's it.
Tahiti exists apparently though.
Tahiti?
Yeah, that's a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference if you haven't watched it.
I have not watched
It's
Agents
true.
of S.H.I.E.L.D. Do I have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to
I'm
get
not
this
gonna.
show?
No.
Because I'm not going to watch that show. I have no desire.
I need to finish it.
Have you-
Yeah, I haven't finished
I
it
watched the
either.
first few seasons. I got to Ghost Rider, then I stopped.
The Ghost Rider season was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But after Coulson died, he went to Tahiti, which was like this weird shield thing that brought him back to life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a little reference for the Marvel fans out there. Anyway, I liked like right after the power grid goes like weird, it cuts to what's her name, Anya.
Yes.
What's
Emma Caulfield.
Emma Caulfield. So it cuts to Emma Caulfield, and she's sitting.
I'm
in her-
disappointed that she's only in this episode for like a second.
Yeah, but she's in her house with her husband, and he's there reading the paper, and she comes in, and she's like, "Honey, do these earrings make me look fat?" And then
Sorry.
all of a sudden, the power goes out, And the husband's just like, oh, thank God. And it's the same guy who was like, that was my grandmother's piano from the previous episode. So I just thought that was funny. So after Vision confirms that the power is out all over the neighborhood, Wanda asks Vision if she believes that the neighbors are suspicious of them and might know their secret because of all the strange things that happen around them.
That's pregnancy paranoia.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone hates me. Do you guys hate me?
Why do you? Never mind. It's too personal. Continue.
All right. So when she mentions that, Vision begins to put together that the reality they're in is not quite right. And he goes to Wanda and he says, I think there's something wrong here, Wanda. But then after that revelation, suddenly the show glitches and cuts back to before Vision began to figure things out. And he tells Wanda that he's excited about being a father and that they will make good parents.
I'm sorry.
He raises his hand. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Well, I don't want to interrupt.
No,
Katie.
I understand what you're trying to do.
I want to say the Matrix didn't glitch. She rewound it.
Yeah.
She didn't like that he was coming to
A realization.
a realization. So she snapped her fingers and went back.
But it was almost like the Disney player that you're watching the show on glitched, where all of a sudden it just like went boom. It was like a hard cut back.
Yeah,
because it's like I'm having a weird time with this because I feel like Wanda is controlling what's going on, but yet she's being watched and experimented on by Hydra or Sword or whoever is in charge here.
Yeah. There's a
But you know what I mean? It's like a weird dual. It's like Wanda's doing her thing, but she's in a lab, a Sword lab, somewhere in a satellite or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's a theory going on out there that this is 100% Wanda is actually the maniacal force. She's the one who's doing all the evil things. It's not anybody else's influence. There's almost this idea that people are stuck and they can't escape. Like she's the one who's keeping them there. And when they try to escape, she just wipes their memory.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I don't know. There's different ideas of what's going on. And I'm like,
this isn't the first time that she has snapped her fingers and changed things when people were coming around to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's in control, but
it's weird.
I'm at the point now where I think Kiddish was last week where he was like, okay, I'm ready for this. The shtick is up. I'm ready for this to get going. That's kind of where I'm at now.
I think we got a few more weeks.
I hope we don't, but I think you're right.
Okay, but I think that the show is doing its job in that it's keeping it ambiguous and it's getting you frustrated, but it's getting you thinking what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're developing your theories about what's going on because he has a theory that's completely different from mine. And I think that's what the intention is.
Yeah.
But what's your theory?
So I think that Wanda has created a universe where she's together with Vision and she has the ability to have children with him and have the happily ever after based on things that she's seen in TV, and that this is her universe. And I think that outside of this dome that this world that she's created, I'm not sure who that is. I think it's Sword on the outside. They're on the outside trying to figure out what is she doing? How do we control this? I don't think that she's being experimented on at all. I don't think that Hydra has a part in this other than her upbringing.
I thought the same, but the commercial this week threw me for a loop because it was
I think that
Hydra flask. It was like, take yourself away into this Hydra world, but if it's supposed to be Sword, then is Sword like a weird shield Hydra kind of mixture?
I think
of
that
things,
commercial had more to do with her upbringing than it did with her current state.
Yeah, maybe. Questions, man.
Yeah. Kiddish, do you have any theories yet?
Good shows make you ask questions.
This is true.
I do have theories, but I'm gonna wait until the end to talk about them.
Mr. Organization.
I know. It's like, what's next, Matthew?
My brain says I have to talk about 3 things before I can tell you that.
It's like an android.
Do I need to do another shot?
Does not compute.
Wanda wonders if their child will be human or synthezoid, like Vision, or a hybrid of the two. Wanda suddenly has a real contraction, causing Vision to panic that the baby's actually coming. And the two practice their breathing to calm down when Wanda's water suddenly breaks and it starts raining inside the house. So that was the whole water breaking gag.
Yeah, yeah.
That I'm sure Alex hated.
I didn't find it funny.
Vision, my water just broke.
He's like, that's not how it is at all.
That's not realistic.
It was just a bit. It was a bit over, like on the nose. Like, okay, it was an eye rolling moment for me. I just was like, nah, wasn't into it.
Okay. So once Wanda's contractions ease, the rain inside the house stops, and she uses her powers to dry everything off, returning the home back to normal. Vision tries to call the doctor, but the phones are down because of the power grid. So Vision uses his super speed to go get the doctor, who earlier said he was going on vacation with his wife. Wanda's contractions start again once Vision is gone, and suddenly she hears an odd noise from the nursery. Before she can investigate, the doorbell rings, and Wanda puts on a large coat to hide her pregnancy and answers the door to find Geraldine, who comes by to borrow a bucket due to the rain occurring inside her home as well. Wanda's contractions keep making her powers malfunction and changing what type of coat she's wearing. And as Geraldine tries to help, Wanda desperately tries to hide her pregnancy from her by putting objects such as a bowl of fruit in front of her massively pregnant belly.
So the introduction of Geraldine, or not introduction because she was in another episode, but like in this episode,
She was very 70s Geraldine.
very 70s. But I actually liked her character.
She was giving me Foxy Brown vibes.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
100%.
And I like her character in this episode more than the previous episodes. And I also like how things kind of evolve during this time where she starts asking questions and then things get really weird. She's got the necklace with the emblem on it. Like, this is where the episode starts to pick up for me. Like, I was way over the rest of this stuff. So at this point, I'm like, okay, now they're starting to drop little hints about what's going on. Yeah. What's Geraldine's deal? What is she there for? We get this interaction with Vision and his two neighbors. We get what is it, Greta? Was it Greta is the annoying neighbor with the husband? Agnes. Where did I get Greta from?
It's always Agnes.
Sorry. I don't know where I got Greg.
And her husband, Ralph.
And her husband, Ralph. Yeah. We get these little interactions with them where she starts kind of freaking out. Like, don't say anything. Like, stop. Like, oh, and now I'm like, oh man, what's going on here? Like, does she know what's going on?
You're kind of jumping ahead here.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I couldn't continue.
Yeah. So, so Wanda's contractions keep making her powers malfunction, changing her coat, blah, blah, blah. Geraldine stays to talk to Wanda about a job interview that she went on when the stork that was previously painted on the baby's room comes to life and begins walking around the house. Yeah. And to keep Geraldine from noticing it, Wanda keeps trying to use her magic to get rid of the stork. And there's like this little puff of red smoke around it, but it doesn't work. It seems immune to her powers, so it just keeps wandering around. And as Wanda's contractions get worse and worse, she can't hide that she's pregnant anymore. And she reveals it to Geraldine, and Geraldine starts freaking out and decides like she's going to help Wanda, deliver the baby and ask her questions later. Meanwhile, Vision finds Dr. Nielsen, who hasn't yet left for Bermuda due to car trouble, conveniently. And Vision spirits Dr. Nielsen away with his super speed, leaving poor Miss Nielsen behind, asking about her two-piece.
With her two-piece.
Back at the house, Geraldine is forced to help with delivering the baby. Wanda lays down and begins giving birth, causing various things to begin to go haywire in the house, like spinning paintings and all that good stuff. And Geraldine ignores all the crazy stuff happening, but helps Wanda give birth to a healthy baby boy.
It was twins.
Bouncing baby boy.
Isn't there twins?
Yeah.
Well, it was one boy at first.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Spoiler.
I forgot. Sorry.
God, Alex.
I forgot there was a second, I forgot that they thought it was done. Anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think about this little section with you know what I actually liked is the stork. It was like a legit puppet. I was like, that's freaking cool. They had like this little stringed puppet walking around.
That was a trained stork.
That was
a real stork?
I thought it was CGI.
No, that had to have been real.
No.
That was some.
That was not a real
Kiddish,
stork.
settle a bet. Is that a real stork?
I have no idea.
I think it was a real
Not
puppet.
real.
I think it was a real puppet.
I think
Not
it was a
real.
real bird.
I thought it looked kind of CGI-ish to me.
Yeah, me too.
I think it was a magic bird.
What do you think, audience?
Comment below.
Real or not real stork?
And if you like what you see,
smash the like button if you think it's a real stork.
Hashtag SNP stork.
and if you want to see mirror, click mirror. Oh my God. If you want to see more, click right here to see more. Shout out to Jeremy Johns. Okay. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
All right. Yeah, I think it was a puppet, but I like that little hijinks with her trying to hide the bird and trying to distract Geraldine. I thought that was funny. That was one of the better moments for me in the show.
Yeah, that was more of the sitcom-y element to the show. And but then once the baby's born, Vision and Dr. Nielsen arrive too late to help with the birth. Vision transforms back into his original form to meet his new son and give him the name Tommy. And Wanda is very happy that Vision picked the name when suddenly she gives birth to another boy, delivering twins.
Billy's coming.
Yeah. And the new baby is named Billy. After the birth is over, Vision sees Dr. Nielsen off, and the doctor has decided to not take his vacation anyway, suggesting that he can't escape the town. Vision then notices that Herb and Agnes are whispering to one another, and he approaches them to investigate what they're talking about. And Agnes asks about Geraldine, and she and Herb kind of look a little bit worried in this scene.
Yeah, they're stressed out.
Yeah.
They're like, where'd she go?
They're like wondering what's going on.
This is the part where
Agnes has the bike from Wizard of Oz. She has the Wicked Witch's bike.
Does she?
Yeah, and
that's a really cool little Easter egg because she's supposed to be like an actual witch, right? That's her character.
Yeah, there are a lot of very subtle hints that she's not the sweet nosy neighbor she portrays.
I think
herself
that's
to be.
That's pretty cool. I didn't notice the bike.
And if you acknowledge that she is possibly the villain, her little tete-a-tete with what's his name? Glenn? Phil? What?
Herb.
Glenn.
Phil. Herb. Phil.
70s neighbor name.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are characters in the show
Ralph.
named those things.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But her little hushed, whisper sesh with him makes me wonder, is he also a villain?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, have these people been put in place to sort of manage Wanda while she's doing this? And maybe she's unaware of what their role is. So she's just kind of controlling the narrative. But they're just in there and they have like, I don't know, like they're aware of what's going on and they're trying to manage her while she's trying to manage their world.
That's interesting.
Made me think that.
It's very possible. Anything's possible at this moment. But it intrigued me when she tossed Geraldine out of the world and, they're kind of like, where did she go? They're kind of freaking out. That got me interested more into what happens next.
Well, they were acting like Geraldine doesn't belong in there.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
She doesn't have a house.
Like, how'd she get in?
Oh, so
Yeah,
She doesn't have a husband or a house.
Agnes says Geraldine is new to town and has no home. And Herb says Geraldine came here because we're all, and he keeps trying to finish his sentence, but he can't seem to get the words out.
Yeah.
And so Vision asks him like what he's trying to tell him, but then Agnes like cuts him off and gives him a warning not to reveal the truth to Vision. And then she takes her bike and rides off, and she's like, "That macrame ain't gonna hitch itself." Wink.
Bring, bring.
And after she leaves, Herb returns to normal, and he's just like, "Catch you on the flip side, Vision."
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So so we have two different forces then. So we have the witch who is trying to manipulate things, and then we also have Geraldine, which is a member of SWORD, which is part of SHIELD. So she should technically be on the good people's side,
There's a lot of speculation that she's the young girl from Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel's friend's daughter.
Yeah.
No, Geraldine is the original Captain Marvel.
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, in the comic books. I forget her name because, I've been drinking the Jim Beam. But
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau, that's who Geraldine is.
Oh.
That's been confirmed.
I did not know that.
That's done. We know this.
It's the OG Captain Marvel.
In the comic book.
In the comic books.
I'm not sure how it fits into the MCU.
Okay. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nice catch.
Yeah.
Good job, comic book nerd.
So, you guys should know this shit.
I should, but I don't. I don't know. I'm not really. This is not my wheelhouse. I'm kind of watching this show, and it's kind of evolving in front of me. So I'm trying to.
And the neighbors, I believe, according to theory, are I don't know the characters' names, but they're basically in league with Mephisto, which is the devil, the Lord of Flies from. Remember the Fly Guy?
Yeah, the bee suit dude.
Yeah. And I think it all ties in with Doctor Strange and stuff coming up.
Oh.
It'll all be explained, I think, by the end of the season. But we're going places with this thing, and yeah, it's
This is kind of like
interesting.
a launching pad for
it is.
what,
This is the launching pad for phase 4.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
100%.
Yeah. So inside the house, while looking over the twins, Wanda reveals to Geraldine that she also had a twin named Pietro. And Geraldine suddenly remembers that Pietro was killed by Ultron. And this alerts Wanda that something isn't quite right. And she notices Geraldine's pendant, which is the sword logo.
Mm-hmm.
And then that makes her see Geraldine as a threat. And Wanda asks her what, the sword symbol is all about and who Geraldine really is. But Geraldine can't seem to remember. Feeling something is wrong, Vision rushes back into the house. Wanda is there alone with the babies, and Vision asks where Geraldine is, and Wanda tells him that, she had to rush home and left. Then the aspect ratio changes from 4.3 to 16.9, and we see the border of the town of Westview, and Geraldine is suddenly thrown into the outskirts of town and appears to be
In the
coming
real
from
world.
some sort of bubble in the real world as army jeeps suddenly pull up around her, and the shot pulls back to show that this entire town of Westview is surrounded by some type of perimeter that Sword has set up.
You think it was Sword, or you think it was part of?
No, it's Sword.
It's Sword.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I think, yeah, it's most likely Sword.
but the bubble itself is WandaVision, right?
I think so.
Okay,
I think they put her in there.
really?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah,
It's getting deep.
yeah. It's getting weird.
Now I'm excited. Like, this was the part where I was like, oh man, I can't wait for next week. Like, this episode was not for me, but this ending, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, I was on board.
I did not care for the first 2 episodes. I felt like the hints that they were dropping were a little bit too few and far in between. This episode really kind of got me on board with the show. Like, I feel if this was episode 2, I'd have been like, oh yeah, this is like really good. So like this episode actually was probably my favorite of the 3 that we've seen so far. And it's mostly because we're starting to get to see the landscape of what's really going on.
Yep.
And there were like the entire last, I'd say like act of the episode was just like Vision getting suspicious and people acting like they know what's going on, but can't say anything.
Mhm.
And I really enjoyed that aspect to it. And my theory is that, Wanda and Pietro were kind of modified by Baron Strucker, who was a member of Hydra. And that was the guy whose castle they were storming in Age of Ultron. And, in Marvel lore, at least, Baron Strucker goes on to create AIM, which is like an offshoot of Hydra. And it was mentioned in Iron Man 3, actually. And so all the like hexagon shapes that we're seeing throughout WandaVision, that's the logo for AIM. And so AIM has something to do with what's going on in this town with Wanda and Vision. And I think that, I've heard the Mephisto rumor as well, tying in the multiverse of madness, because Mephisto is kind of like a god in the Marvel universe. And that's something that Doctor Strange would definitely be dealing with. But like in the trailers for WandaVision, like when Wanda and Vision kind of figure out what's going on and reality kind of comes in, they're like, we got to fight for our home. This is our home. So it does feel like the residents of Westview are like trapped by something Wanda created. But it also feels like Sword's there monitoring the situation because they know that there's like a much bigger threat at play. And it has to do with the Infinity Stones. Because somehow the Infinity Stones are back. Like Vision has his Infinity Stone back. Wanda's powers are all based off of the Infinity Stones. Like the Reality Stone is basically her, her jam type thing. So there's a lot at play here. And we're in the early phase. So we're kind of like, oh, let's theory craft. And it's a lot of fun. But
it is fun.
But we're going to find out, pretty soon what the reality is. And I'm actually intrigued now. Like I want to find out what happens next. Whereas the last episode, I was like, I really don't care.
It's got the blood rush into your nerd dick.
Yep. Full nerd boner.
Nerd boner. I know. Vader gave me a nerd boner too when we started talking about Doctor Strange and stuff. Got me hard, Vader.
Wow.
She went there.
You can cut
Now
that out.
salty.
You can cut it out.
This lady that's on your show.
Why is she talking about boners?
She's very crude sometimes. Why is she always talking about male genitalia?
My beer out.
All right.
You're gonna need to replace her, right?
So let's do some final thoughts.
Okay, Mom.
Kiddish has been thinking the same thing for a while.
That's about 6 years. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So final thoughts on this episode. All right. So
That was
yeah, Kurt.
That was my dick.
Jesus. All right. Final thoughts.
Now.
Final thoughts on this episode.
Language.
Kadish, what are your final thoughts? Well, you kind of already gave it, but you're more intrigued now. You're enjoying this episode.
Yeah, I really like this episode. I wish that the previous 2 episodes had been more like this one, where we continue to get to kind of see what the real big reveal is. And I'm excited for episode 4. I also like that this one was in color. I like the Brady Bunch references.
Color's always better, right?
Yeah. And I just I enjoyed this one more than the previous 2, I think.
All right.
Also notice that the woman who was doing the Hydro Soak commercial, she's the woman from
Every
all the
commercial.
previous 2. Like the commercials seem to have like a set cast
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
in
cool.
them. So
Oh, I didn't notice
Yep.
that.
I could have skipped the first, I don't know, probably 15 minutes of this episode. Did nothing for me. I think it might be on me just not having the references from the Brady Bunch and not really digging the 70s TV show sitcoms.
You really need to watch the Brady
I
I don't
might
know if
need
you're
to.
allowed to watch this.
Are they too crude?
At least I like 2 or 3 episodes from each season, just to
just to
get a vibe of
Okay.
what
well,
the show's about.
the next episode's going to be set in the 80s because every episode's a different decade.
Yeah.
So
What
I
sitcoms-
I think we're going to get to see like the costume, like the Halloween episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where Wanda and Vision are in their like 80s
The comic book,
costumes.
the actual comic book.
I'm trying to figure out what a sitcom from the 80s they would mimic.
The
other than,
pro-
like,
pro-
the
probably
Cosby
the
Show or
Cosby
something.
Show. Yeah.
But I don't think they'd go.
Family Ties.
Family
Maybe Family
Ties.
Ties. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be good. Yeah.
Family
Growing
Ties.
pains?
So I don't think they would do Cosby Show, even though that would be the obvious, but not with
No.
Facts of
not
Life.
Oh,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
the one with Ted Danson?
Oh, Cheers.
Cheers.
No. We're not Ted Danson. Tony Danson.
Oh, Who's the Boss?
Yes.
You're the boss.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still waiting for Seinfeld. I'm holding out.
That's 90s.
I know, but I'm saying I'm holding out for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really hope there's a couple of Seinfeld references.
Who's the Boss has 2 kids and a boy and a girl.
Oh.
Like a man and a woman,
Yeah.
I should say.
And a mom. Yeah.
right.
Mona.
Final thoughts, Vader, on this episode.
Still intrigued. Still has the hook in me.
Cool.
I'm into it. I like it.
Did you like the 70s references? and
I
all that
did.
stuff?
I
Okay.
enjoyed it. Took me back a little bit.
Right on.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I think I'm just kind of cruising along with this show.
Okay.
I don't really hate it or love it. I'm enjoying it, and that's what I like about it.
I really wish
So-
Disney like had previews for the next upcoming episode. Like I hate that these
Yeah.
streaming services don't give you previews of what's to come.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Spoilers.
People have forgotten how to watch TV. It's really kind of amusing.
Yeah, there
Like,
is.
I want to binge this.
Yeah.
It's like, grow up.
I'm
Come on.
This is completely off topic, but I'm forcing my son to only watch one episode
Yeah.
of Camp Cretaceous at a time, and he's so annoyed with me.
I bet he is.
He's like, I want to watch the next one. I'm like, wait until next week. And he's like, no. Anyway, Jude, final thoughts on this episode of WandaVision?
I liked this episode. Excuse me. I liked this episode, and I liked it so much that it kind of made me less annoyed by the first 2 episodes because it was like, okay, they're giving me it's exactly what I said I wanted. Like, if they didn't start giving me a little meat and potatoes in the 3rd episode, I was going to start getting really annoyed. And they started giving me a lot more intrigue, a lot more like nuggets towards the mystery of this. Started making my brain work about like what's actually going on. So now, like, everything that I felt about the first 2 episodes that I was like, okay, it's just kind of cute. Whatever. Like, I'm okay with that now. I'm like, okay, you giving me a little nostalgia, giving me a little bit more of like what you as like creators want to give. I'm fine with it now because now it's starting to go somewhere, and we're cool.
Okay.
Like this episode actually made Jude want to go back and watch the Avengers movies, which he had not seen.
Yeah,
before.
so I watched Age of Ultron and I watched Civil War
Oh, okay.
during the week.
You haven't watched Endgame yet?
I mean, I've seen it before, but
Oh, okay.
Did you get any more information about the show from those movies?
Age of Ultron left me with more questions about the relationship between Vision and Wanda. And then I watched Civil War yesterday, and I was like, it's kind kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
And so I quit.
It ends on a downer, yeah.
Yeah.
But that picks. You got to watch.
It's not the uplifting story I was.
You don't get the
hoping
uplifting
for.
end until what, after Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah, that's kind of like one movie. After that, then you kind of get that.
But when
Yeah.
it comes to WandaVision, you never get that uplifting ending.
No. Oh, it's so sad. It
I
kind
So
of.
bad.
I just
Yeah.
went into it wanting to know more about the evolution of the relationship between like how Vision was created and when he and Wanda became a thing.
Oh,
I love that part of Ultron when Vision was created.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he hands Thor's hammer.
It picks up the hammer.
You're
I
like,
love that.
What? What? That was crazy.
Yeah.
I
Just
Yeah.
the best
I-
part of Age of Ultron
It
was
really
when
wa-
Captain America
I
kind
was
of
just gonna
moves
say
the
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Thor's face when Captain America wiggles it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
He's
oh,
like,
shit.
He had a very oh shit face.
But
Yeah.
then they're all
But
like,
then you get that payoff in Endgame.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
it's like, how do we trust this guy? And he picks up the sword. Like,
Yeah. And
picks
Thor's
up
like,
Mjolnir, yeah.
all right, well, let's go.
Well, There it
It's
is.
good stuff. But yeah, the tragedy of Infinity War, I think, is when Vision kicks it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And
Very,
you'll
very
get
end of it.
you'll
yeah.
get a lot more about their relationship from that movie than you would from
I've seen
Age of
that.
Ultron. Oh, you've seen
Yeah, no,
Infinity
I've
War?
seen that.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that's where the real heavy moments for them come in.
Yeah, but at that point they're already like
A couple.
together and kind of in hiding, trying to stay out of it. And I wanted to
this-
see what happened before then.
This is after Endgame.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot.
It's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
This is after all that.
Yes. Yeah. And I honestly
Oh, yeah.
think Vision's dead.
Oh,
And
he definitely.
This
Yeah.
is just
I do
a figment of her imagination.
Mhm.
And I do not think the Infinity Stones are back.
I don't either.
I think that's all gone. Her powers are based off of the Reality Stone, but I don't think it's necessary for it to exist.
There's a
for
lot
her
of
to
people
still
that
have her
say
powers.
she's the
Yeah, I
most
agree.
She is.
powerful person in
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, she took on Thanos in that one fight in Endgame. She was just like,
She's like, you
you destroyed my whole world. It's like, I don't even know who you are. He's like, you will, motherfucker. Like, it's like, yes.
Yeah, she was like, you took everything from me, and he's like, who are you?
Yeah.
I don't even know you.
Yeah. It was a great moment. And it showed her strength. Like when she's like ready to roll, she just freaking, Wanda's badass.
Yeah, she
I love
is.
her. She's so cool in those movies. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it for our take on episode 3 of WandaVision. Thank you for joining us. Before we get out of here, real quick around the table, Matt Vader, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Matt Vader 74 at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, the Salty Nerd YouTube channel.
Yeah, you're doing trailer reactions
Yeah,
now.
I might even start streaming a couple games here and there on the Salty Nerd channel. So
Ooh.
look for that.
SaltyNerdVideo.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that right here. saltynerdvideo.com.
So
Catch all of our cool content there.
yeah, on the things, I'm mostly just kind of promoting the show on the socials right now because they're a freaking minefield right now. But yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, man. Jude, where can they find you at?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram and Twitter, and on my website at thevoiceofjude.com.
Right on. Matthew Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish, at Twitter, and you can also check me out on Amazon at kadishbooks.com.
Right on. And I am your host, the Salty Nerd. You can catch me on Twitter at salty_nerd or check out our Discord app. I'm there chatting with everybody on the daily. And real quick, if you guys want to support the podcast, go to saltynerdstore.com. We have a bunch of really cool merch available now. Kadish worked really hard on getting a bunch of t-shirts out there. So go to saltynerdstore.com. Any money that you guys end up giving us will go directly back into the podcast. Thank you guys very much and have a great day.